Some American towns didn't move forward, and no one told them they had to. Nothing collapsed. Life just continued at the speed it always had. The clues are subtle. Signs that were never redesigned, businesses that never rebranded, streets that feel familiar without explanation. They aren't trying to feel old. They're simply still here, functioning quietly in a different rhythm. And today, we're visiting 6 American towns where the 1980s never fully moved out. Not because they had to stay that way, but because there was never a strong reason to change. Butler, a downtown that never got the memo. Butler, Georgia isn't the kind of place you accidentally pass through. It sits well away from major highways, surrounded by farmland and long stretches of quiet road. You arrive on purpose, or because you already live nearby. The first thing you notice is how intact everything feels. The town square is walkable. The storefronts are modest, but still occupied. And then you start spotting details that feel misplaced in time. A video rental store, not a nostalgic display, an actual working video store. There's also a public payphone sitting right on Main Street, the kind most towns removed years ago. Not ceremoniously, but quietly when no one was looking. Daily life here moves gently. Locals chat outside businesses. Cars roll through the square without urgency. There's no sense of a town trying to impress anyone. It simply exists. Many younger residents leave Butler for work or school, while older generations stay. That matters. When fewer new people arrive, fewer things demand reinvention. Businesses don't rebrand. Buildings don't get replaced. If something still works, it stays. What's interesting is how unintentional it all feels. Butler didn't decide to preserve the past. The past just didn't get pushed out. And that creates a town that feels paused. Not frozen, but comfortably settled into an earlier rhythm. As you leave Butler, the road opens up again, and soon the scenery changes entirely. The WildWoods. The WildWoods don't whisper their era. They glow. Driving in feels like opening an old family vacation tape. Pastel motels stretch block after block. Neon vacancy signs buzz softly at dusk. Pools curve in boomerang shapes that feel lifted straight from another decade. There's nothing ironic about it, nothing apologetic. This is simply what works here. The WildWoods peaked as a drive-to beach destination for middle-class families in the late 20th century. And unlike many resort towns, they never chased luxury to survive. Instead, they doubled down on familiarity. Cheap motels, arcades, boardwalk rides, pizza slices eaten while standing. In summer, hundreds of thousands of visitors arrive, many of them returning to the same motel their parents once booked. Owners repaint, they repair, they refresh the neon, but they rarely rebuild. Walking the boardwalk, you notice how physical everything feels. Tickets in your hand, change clinking in pockets, games that still require buttons and joysticks instead of touchscreens. Another kind of brightness takes over, the glow of billboards. Branson, lined with theaters, attractions, and motels that feel like they were designed to be seen from a moving vehicle. Large signs, bold lettering, buildings shaped to catch your eye before you pass them. It's a landscape built for road trips and tour buses. Branson's boom came with 1980s country music variety shows, the era of group travel, scheduled entertainment, and printed brochures. That audience still comes. And so the town still caters to them. The architecture hasn't chased minimalism. The signage hasn't shrunk. The strip still announces itself loudly. Walking here feels different from Butler or the WildWoods. There's movement, traffic, crowds flowing between shows. But the visual language is unmistakably older. You notice boxy theaters that haven't changed shape, only posters. Motels that still assume guests will park directly outside their rooms. Attractions that advertise exactly what they are. As the strip curves away, trees close in again, and the road begins to feel less commercial, more scenic. Lake George. Lake George sits in one of those landscapes that already feels timeless. Mountains, water, pines lining the road. But it's Canada Street that really tells the story. Motels stand shoulder to shoulder, each with its own sign. Neon ice cream cones, tiki-style resorts, arcades that glow even during daylight, souvenir shops that still sell the same kinds of things year after year. The town itself is tiny, fewer than 1,000 permanent residents. But in summer, it transforms into a dense strip of memory. Families return, not once, but repeatedly. The same motel, mini golf course, walk after dinner. That loyalty shapes everything. Owners don't need to reinvent. They need to stay recognizable. You can feel it when you walk the street. Nothing feels rushed. Nothing feels optimized. It feels like a place built for car trunks, coolers, and kids half asleep in the back seat. The charm isn't accidental. It's maintained, not through upgrades, but through consistency. And when the season ends, Lake George quiets down again. The Strip exhales, waiting patiently for the next summer to arrive exactly as expected. From here, the road leads back toward the coast, where repetition takes on a different scale. Ocean City. Ocean City operates on a formula, and it learned it early. A long boardwalk, arcades, fry stands, amusement rides, t-shirt shops advertising places you're already in. The magic is how little that formula has changed. Instead of demolishing old attractions, Ocean City layered new ones on top. A ride gets updated, a sign gets replaced, but the overall structure remains. Walking the boardwalk feels like scrolling through decades at once. Something from the 1970s sits beside something from the 2000s, both framed by a layout that still feels mid-1980s at heart. The town's permanent population is small, but on summer weekends, it explodes. That kind of tourism favors capacity over polish. Simple motels, straightforward condos, entertainment designed to move people through efficiently. There's a comfort in it. You always know where you are. You always know what comes next. The boardwalk doesn't surprise you, and that's the point. Ocean City feels less like a place chasing nostalgia and more like one preserving muscle memory. It knows how to work, and it sees no reason to unlearn it. Farther south, the water warms. The music gets louder, and the vibe shifts entirely. South Padre Island, a party that never fully ended. South Padre Island still carries the energy of a rerun. Not in every corner, newer resorts stand nearby, but along long stretches of shoreline, the older rhythm remains. Boxy condos, no-frills motels, bars that look like they've been hosting the same conversations for decades. This island built its reputation through spring break coverage in the 1980s and 1990s. Loud music, cheap drinks, sun-faded banners advertising the same things they always have. Beach shops still sell shell necklaces and graphic t-shirts. Wooden decks show their age. Signs feel familiar even if you've never read them before. The town itself is small, but visitors arrive in waves, and many of them come back, not because it changed, but because it didn't. There's a certain honesty to it. No rebranding, no attempt to soften the edges. South Padre knows what people expect, and it delivers that expectation with very little editing. As the shoreline stretches out, you start to notice something all these places share, despite their differences. None of these towns are frozen in time. They still live, breathe, and adapt, just slowly and on their own terms. They remind us that progress doesn't always look like reinvention. Sometimes, it looks like choosing what to keep. I'll keep finding the world's hidden corners. You just have to click subscribe to come along.